guys, I just wanted to come on for a few minutes because I did have people asking me, what do I do? What are the things that I need to have to get started in pour painting? Well, first of all, you need something to paint on. Most of the time that's going to be a canvas. You can find them on sale pretty cheaply at different places. You can even use used ones, but you have to use like a primer. But in painting, that's called gesso. It's Gesso. Yeah. And so you can find that in any Hobby Lobby, Michael's, any art supplies, Jerry's, places like that. You are going to want to have a pouring medium. So you have your paints. I use Artist Loft acrylic paints. You can use home paint. I buy the Oops paints all the time. 50 cents. Gets you something like this. What did I pay? Yeah, 50 cents. Get you some really pretty colors. But house paints, depends on what you use, can be pretty dull. But they can be fun. A lot of my bigger pieces I use house paints just because it ends up being a little bit cheaper for me cost-wise. But the colors end up being really pretty when they come out. I've never really done them on smaller paintings. Maybe I should try it sometime. Anyway, so you need a pouring medium. A pouring medium is what you use to thin out your paints. I use Blow Draw. You find this at Home Depot or Lowe's in the paint department right next to the sprayers because it's used to thin out paints, acrylic paints. They have some oil-based ones too, but mostly this particular one is for to thin out latex paints to put them through sprayers. So this is how I do it. You can get a Deco Art pouring medium. You can get a Liquitex Basics or Liquitex pouring medium. Golden makes a pouring medium. Just about all of them. Even Artist Loft makes a pouring medium. They're a little bit more expensive. I like Floetrol because it gives me the cells and I can pretty much manipulate it the way that I need to. But your name brand specific pouring mediums like the Golden, the Artist Loft, the Liquitex, those aren't going to give you cells if you're looking to get those really pretty cells in your paintings. You're going to want to get water, not tap water. Tap water has little microorganisms in them, so you really want to get like a distilled water, or bottled water works just fine too. And my pouring ratios, I always start out 50-50 or 1-to-1 ratio, which is 1 part pouring medium to 1 part paint. And I also do about 10% water. When I pour them, I want them to come out and look like this. So when you're pouring, let's see if I can get this right. When you're pouring, there's a little mound that goes up. I'll show you better when I tilt the paintings, when I tilt the camera down for the painting. But anyway, you do 1-to-1 ratio. You do it. I tend to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And it broke it a little over 4, about 4.5 to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so right at 4, which I'm okay with. I get a little mound, build a little mound, and then it goes flat, which is what you want it to do. You want cups to mix in. I try to get as many reusable cups. I use them for many things. I use them to put my canvases on. I use solo cups to make. So this is going to be my base color right here. I just got these awesome little spoons through Amazon, and they're great. They're reusable, so I don't have to keep going through stir sticks, because I was going through a lot of stir sticks, and I try to find ways of not making waste, because as you can see, I keep a trash can nearby because there's a lot of waste to this. You want something to put your painting on. So if you're going to be doing it, if you don't have a dedicated room like I do, and you're going to do this at like a kitchen table, you're going to want to protect it. You can get plastic, You can buy those cheap tablecloths that are $4 at Walmart, or here at HEB. You can buy those and you can cut them up. You can lay it out across your table if you're going to be doing more than one painting. But if you're going to do that, I would also put down, if you're not going to put down like I put parchment paper under mine so that I can peel up the skins once they're done. I just peel away once something is completed, and I get these really pretty skins, and I've made jewelry out of them. I've made some really pretty pieces of jewelry out of them. So, I'm getting stuck. So this is a necklace that I made, one of several necklaces that I've made out of my droppings, which once they're dried we call them skins, and then you put epoxy in it and you're good to go, and you have a necklace and you have some really pretty jewelry. Some people use them to make shapes out of and put them back into other paintings as they're drying. So I'm going to mix a couple of colors here for you. This first one that I did, I don't know what to do with my tube, but it was Liquitex Basics violet color. Put just a little bit in there. I probably even did too much. I want to make it kind of sparkly, so I'm going to use an iridescent medium. So if you see this iridescent medium, it's not really a paint per se. You're going to want to mix it with something and it'll give it kind of a glittery, shimmery shine, which is really, really pretty. So I just want to do a little bit. And by a little bit, I mean, okay, that's good. So I have Floetrol, but I put them in these smaller containers. These are what I use for when I'm having my pour parties at Bastrop Beer Company. So if you want to do an exact ratio, I cannot tell you. I eyeball everything because in this type of art, it's not as important to be right on or exact with all your measurements. You can, and there are a few people that are, and there's nothing wrong with that. So I'm going to eyeball this. That's a 1-to-1 ratio. Use my handy dandy new stir sticks. Stir, stir, stir. So you're going to see these little clumps come up. I don't know how well y'all can see any of that. You see these clumps, but you stir. If you have clumps that come up in yours, just keep stirring. So I'm about to do a commission piece for my good old buddy Jim Booth, my booth man. So he wants something with a little bit of purple in it. So I'm gonna give him like the prettiest purple ever. 1, 2, 3. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that's too thick. This is too thick. I want this to be, I think I have my background too thick. So I'm going to water it down just a little bit. But this, I want to add a little bit of water because I have not done that yet. I've done the 50-50 ratio. You don't want to do more than a couple of drops. So basically maybe about 10% water. Your water will thin it out. You add too much water and it gets watery. And if it's just streaming down and you're getting nothing and it basically just seems like pure water, what's going to happen is your paints are going to be too thin and then they're going to bleed together. And when you get bleeding of your colors, they turn into what we call mud. So you could have this brilliant blue and this great red that should make an awesome purple, and you're going to get mud because instead of your colors blending together, they have now settled into one another and just have merged to become mud. And you're not going to get the color that you want. One, two, three. I know that I want this one a little bit thinner. Like I said, I'll add some more water to my black. I like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's so dark I can't even tell where it is. But another way to tell, it mounds up. It mounds up just a little bit and then sinks right in. So I'm happy with it. So let me add more water to this. This was black that I made earlier. It's actually a combination of about 2 or 3 different ones that I had left over that I added more iridescent black to it. Your arms get tired after mixing. Alright, so this is a little bit thinner than the other one, which is perfect to me because I want it to be thinner, just a tad bit thinner than what I'm putting on top. So I've got purple. I've got a pretty turquoise. I have a gold. I think I need one more color, but I'm not sure what color. Should I go with a pink? Should I go with a green? Should I don't know. Okay. Well, let me figure that out. Let me get the rest of that mixed up. Then I'm going to lower my canvas, or lower my camera so that we can get the canvas, and then I'll come back and we'll start the painting. I hope that you understood that. Once again, the things that you need to get started. You need something to paint on: canvas, wood. You can paint on tiles. If you paint on tiles, you need to spray them with alcohol, 90% alcohol first, to clear anything off, and then don't touch them with your hands again unless you have gloves on them, because the oils from your skin will get on the tiles and they'll separate. So canvas, tile, wood, just about anything that you can think to paint on, you can probably paint on it. I want to do a skateboard soon, so just saying. And you need your pouring medium. I use a Floetrol. It's one of the cheapest ways to do it. And you can buy it by the quart, or you can buy it by the gallon. You need cups. You need stir sticks. So if you have, say you have a bunch of disposable knives that you're not ever using again, you can totally use those, and those can be your stir sticks. You need cups to stir everything in, to do all your mixing. If you're doing a flat surface, you can use either cups to pour over, to put what you're working on because you want it off your surface. You can want something underneath all of it to catch all your painting, because this is very, very messy. And you'll see the inside of my bucket here in just a second. So, and when you're painting and when you're mixing, you want to start off with a 1-to-1 ratio. 1 part pouring medium, 1 part paint. So there you have it. Quick little recap, and I'll be back in just a second and we'll start the painting. Alrighty.